In the heart of Africa's southwest, a timeless drama unfolds under the blazing sun. Here, life does not merely exist, it converges. Around a solitary desert waterhole, a fragile peace treaty is written every single day. An African elephant stands as a gentle colossus, its towering presence commanding respect, yet maintaining an unspoken harmony with its neighbors. Surrounding it, herds of elegant springboks, striking zebras, and tall, graceful giraffes share the precious liquid of life. In this harsh landscape, water is the ultimate equalizer, bringing together the majestic and the humble in a beautiful, synchronized dance of survival. Moving away from the crowded oases, the landscape transforms into one of the most surreal spectacles on planet Earth. An endless ribbon of tarmac cuts through a sea of shifting gold. This is the Namib Desert, the oldest desert in the world. For tens of millions of years, these colossal dunes have marched across the Earth, driven by tireless winds. But look closer to the horizon. Here, the extreme dryness of the desert meets the violent, roaring currents of the Atlantic Ocean. It is a breathtaking collision of elements, where massive mountain-sized waves of sand are continuously battered by the cold, restless sea. As we venture deeper into the interior, the sand shifts from pale gold to a deep, burning crimson. This is Sossusvlei, home to the iconic red dunes that twist and turn like frozen waves under a stark blue sky. In the distance, rugged canyons slice through the earth, revealing ancient geological secrets carved out over millennia. Hidden deep within these rocky ravines, unexpected waterfalls suddenly burst forth, breathing life into the parched earth below. Against all odds, unique flora like the ancient quiver trees stand tall, their strange, sculptural branches reaching toward the heavens. Enduring the extreme temperatures of both day and night, to survive in this wilderness, creatures must possess an extraordinary spirit of adaptation. Across the endless, shimmering gravel plains, herds of gemsbok, the magnificent desert oryx, march in perfect formation. Their striking black and white face markings and long, rapier-like horns make them look like warriors of the wasteland. They are designed for the extreme, capable of raising their internal body temperature to avoid losing precious moisture. Nearby, rhinos trudge through the dusty brush, and a solitary elephant glides effortlessly through the tall, golden savanna grass, its massive footsteps leaving a quiet legacy on the dust of the earth. Suddenly, the silence of the desert is broken. The horizon begins to blur as thousands of hooves kick up a blinding storm of dust. This is the great nomadic movement. Hundreds of giraffes gallop gracefully across the plains, their long necks swaying like trees in a storm. Below them, massive herds of springboks and zebras run side by side, driven by a primal urge to find fresh grazing grounds. From the high-altitude aerial view, the sheer scale is overwhelming. Thousands of lives moving as a single, living organism, flowing past ancient, volcanic mountains that have watched this exact march for millions of years. That we return once more to the edge of the continent, where the desert silence is replaced by a chaotic symphony of barks, roars, and crashing waves. Cape fur seals gather here by the hundreds of thousands, blanketing the sandy beaches where the dunes melt into the ocean. The shoreline is alive with constant movement. Pups play in the shallow surf while massive bulls guard their territories. It is a stark reminder that even in a land defined by dryness, Namibia's coast is a thriving, bursting cradle of marine life, nourished by the nutrient-rich currents of the deep ocean. But where there is a gathering of life, the shadow of the hunter is never far behind. Resting under the sparse shade of a desert bush, a magnificent male lion keeps watch. His thick, dark mane ripples gently in the hot breeze. These desert lions are legendary for their resilience, traveling vast distances over sand dunes and rocky mountains just to secure a meal. His golden eyes reflect the spirit of this land, unforgiving, powerful, and fiercely beautiful. He does not rule by force alone, but by his absolute mastery over one of the harshest environments on Earth. As the sun begins its slow descent, casting long, dramatic shadows across the landscape, a family of desert elephants journeys across a dry riverbed. A mother guides her young calf toward a distant grove of ancient camelthorn trees, where water hides deep beneath the sand. This is the true essence of Namibia. It is a land of extreme contrasts, where the ancient sand dunes whisper secrets to the Atlantic Ocean, and where life thrives in the spaces between drought and rain. In this beautiful, sun-drenched wilderness, the journey never truly ends. It is an eternal cycle of survival, resilience, and breathtaking wonder under the endless African sky. In the searing heart of the African wilderness, an unspoken truce is written in the dust. Around a vital oasis, the giants of the land assemble. A magnificent African elephant dominates the water's edge, its ancient presence a comforting shield for the fragile life surrounding it. Elegant giraffes look on from above, while herds of skittish springboks and zebras cluster close, navigating the fine line between desperate thirst and absolute vulnerability. Here, water is both a blessing and a battleground, but as the day advances, we leave this crowded sanctuary behind. A long, solitary road cuts relentlessly through a vast ocean of shifting sand. A lonely path tracking the edge where the scorching desert collides directly with the cold, unforgiving rhythm of the Atlantic. Further inland, the gold of the coast deepens into dramatic, burning ochre. Colossal red dunes give way to rugged canyons where hidden waterfalls drop suddenly into rocky ravines. Against this harsh backdrop, otherworldly quiver trees pierce the sky like ancient sentinels. On the vast gravel plains below, the true masters of endurance emerge. Gemsbok march across the shimmering heat waves, their stark markings standing out like tribal paint. In the distance, solitary desert elephants glide past volcanic mountains, their massive silhouettes a testament to a timeless journey across a dry, forgotten world. But the desert eventually yields to the golden grasslands. As the soft glow of dusk settles over the savanna, the landscape begins to move. Thousands of springboks graze across the plains, their ears twitching at every rustle of the wind. Beyond them, dark herds of wildebeest move steadily alongside striking zebras. It is a massive, living tapestry of the wild, spread beneath a perfect, conical volcanic peak that watches over this ancient highway. In this temporary paradise of grass and light, life multiplies, filling the horizon with an overwhelming sense of freedom and abundance. Yet, where life gathers in abundance, danger waits patiently beneath the surface. In a sluggish, muddy riverbed, massive armor-plated crocodiles bask along the sun-baked banks. They lie completely still, looking like ancient logs, waiting for the reckless or the desperate to venture too close to the water's edge. Further down the river, a different kind of power resides. From an aerial view, the muddy water reveals the massive, dark shapes of hippopotamuses. Submerged to stay cool under the blistering sun, they occasionally break the surface with explosive breaths. They are unpredictable, highly territorial, and possess a jaw strength that commands absolute respect from every creature that dares to drink here. On the open plains, a sudden shift in the wind sends a ripple of panic through a herd of gemsbok. They break into a coordinated trot, their long, pointed horns cutting the air. Something is watching. Deep within the thorny scrub, a pride of lions is on the move. Camouflaged perfectly against the dry earth, they move like ghosts through the shadows. A lioness stalks silently, her golden eyes locked onto her target. Every muscle is tense, every step calculated. In this theater of survival, the line between life and death is razor thin, decided in a fraction of a second by speed, strategy, and pure instinct. As the dust settles from the hunt, the timeless rhythm of the wilderness resumes. A massive herd of elephants, grandmothers, mothers, and vulnerable calves, marches in a long, unbroken line across the horizon. They are guided by the ancient memory of their matriarch, traveling vast distances over sand dunes and dry riverbeds in search of food and water. Their heavy footsteps beat like a steady pulse against the parched earth. They carry with them the history of this land, moving with a profound sense of family, loyalty, and an unbreakable will to survive against all odds. As the intense heat of the day finally breaks, a gentle calm washes over the land. The predators retreat into the deeper shade, and the prey animals find temporary peace. Giraffes glint softly in the late afternoon sun as they glide gracefully through acacia trees. Nearby, baboons play in the dirt while older members keep watch from high branches. It is a moment of pure harmony, a fleeting window of time where the harshness of the environment fades, revealing a delicate balance where every creature, big and small, plays a vital role in this grand design. The sun begins its final, dramatic descent, painting the African sky in deep shades of crimson, purple, and gold. The long shadows of the elephants stretch across the endless plains, melting into the approaching night. This is a world unchanged by time, a land of fierce predators and resilient survivors, of ancient dunes and hidden waters. As darkness blankets the savanna, the sounds of the night begin to rise. The ancient cycle continues, an eternal journey of life, death, and breathtaking beauty under the endless, starry sky of the wild. In the shadow of greatness, life moves to an ancient, unhurried rhythm. Here, under the watchful, snow-capped peak of Mount Kilimanjaro, the true monarchs of the African savanna claim their domain. Families of African elephants graze peacefully across the golden wetlands, their massive forms framed against the blue horizon. Mothers keep a protective eye over their small calves, teaching them the paths their ancestors have walked for thousands of years. In this fertile basin, water and earth bind together, providing a sanctuary where these gentle giants can thrive in absolute peace. But the peace of the savanna is always shared with the ultimate predator. Emerging from the tall, sun-baked grass, a magnificent male lion walks with steady, unbothered confidence. His thick mane ripples in the warm breeze as his amber eyes scan the open plains. He is the embodiment of raw power and patient strategy. Every step he takes is an assertion of dominance over his territory. In these endless fields, survival is a daily negotiation between the sharpest senses and the stealthiest shadows. As the day surrenders to the evening, the world transforms into a masterpiece of light and color. The sky bleeds into intense shades of crimson and violet as the sun dips lower on the horizon. At the water's edge, the dark, heavy shapes of hippopotamuses break the surface of the glowing river, their breaths cutting through the quiet dusk. Nearby, a spectacular herd of zebras silhouettes against the burning sky, grazing tightly together as the shadows stretch long across the plains. In this twilight hours, the watering holes become a crowded, glowing theater of life preparing for the dangers of the dark. In the fading amber light, two young elephants wade into a perfectly still pool of water. The sunset reflects off the surface like liquid gold, capturing a quiet moment of absolute serenity. They drink deeply, their bodies cooling down after the intense heat of the day. From high above, the landscape looks like a vast watercolor painting, a maze of golden streams and quiet marshlands stretching as far as the eye can see. It is a reminder that even in a world governed by the laws of the hunt, there are moments of profound, breathtaking stillness. But the wild can turn unforgiving in an instant. Moving away from the lush wetlands, we find a massive herd of elephants wading through a shallow, muddy river channel. The green algae blanket the water, a sign of a shrinking resource under a harsh sun. Dozens of elephants, young and old, trudge tightly together through the muck. The drying landscape demands constant movement, forcing the herd to stick close to whatever moisture remains. Their survival depends entirely on the collective wisdom of the herd, navigating the thin, treacherous line between abundance and drought. Where the water completely disappears, a different kind of beauty takes over. Against a backdrop of towering, bright red sand dunes, a herd of gemsbok, the magnificent desert oryx, moves across the barren landscape. Their long, rapier-like horns pierce the sky as they march effortlessly over the scorching sand. These are creatures built for the impossible. They have mastered the art of surviving without standing water for weeks, drawing moisture from sparse desert plants. In this sea of sand, they look like true nomadic warriors, turning a deadly wasteland into their permanent home. From the absolute dryness of the desert, we rise high into the air to witness the incredible rebirth of the delta. A vast, emerald labyrinth of water channels and high grass spreads across the earth below. Scattered across this flooded paradise, small groups of elephants wade through the deep grass, appearing like dark islands in a sea of green. This complex ecosystem is a lifeline for thousands of species, an intricate network where water dictates the movement, the habits, and the very future of every living soul that crosses its path. Finally, we find a landscape stripped of its crowds. Against a massive, rugged mountain wall, a solitary giraffe stands completely alone in the vast desert plain. Its long neck reaches toward the empty sky, a monument of grace in a harsh, empty world. This is the ultimate truth of the wilderness. It is a world of immense contrasts, from the snows of Kilimanjaro to the burning red dunes, from crowded riverbanks to the absolute silence of a lonely desert valley. Yet, through it all, the pulse of life beats on, resilient, beautiful, and eternally wild under the endless African sky. In the heart of the wild, time does not move by the ticking of a clock, but by the rhythm of nature itself. Here, under the eternal gaze of majestic mountains, life finds its most grand expression. A family of African elephants moves gracefully through the lush green savanna, creating a picture of absolute serenity. From the newborn calves keeping close to their mother's heavy steps, to the giant matriarch leading the way, these magnificent creatures embody the spirit of unity and ancient wisdom. In this open cradle of earth, every sunrise brings a promise of survival, and every sunset seals a legacy that has endured for generations. But peace on the plains is always monitored by the eyes of the absolute apex. Walking with quiet, unmatched confidence along the dirt track, a male lion claims his kingdom. His dark, heavy mane catches the golden rays of the sun, and his amber eyes look straight ahead with unwavering focus. He does not run, he does not hide. Every single step he takes is a statement of power and absolute dominance. In this vast grassland, his presence alone alters the movement of thousands, a living reminder of the thin line between the hunter and the hunted. As day transitions into night, the African sky transforms into a canvas of burning crimson and deep violet. The sun looks like a giant ball of fire, reflecting its intense glow across the silent waters. Deep in the glowing river, the heavy silhouettes of hippopotamuses break the surface, seeking refuge from the heat. Nearby, a large herd of zebras grazes peacefully against the massive, setting sun, their black and white stripes blurred by the golden dust. At this hour, the watering hole becomes more than just a place to drink. It becomes a temporary sanctuary where predators and prey briefly share the same cooling air. In a secluded corner of the marshland, two young elephants step into a perfectly still pool of water. The sky above has softened into shades of pink and gold, turning the water into a mirror of liquid light. They stand side by side, drinking slowly, lost in a rare moment of pure tranquility. From high above, the entire landscape appears as an intricate painting of endless wetlands and winding waterways. It is a stark reminder that even in a world ruled by the law of the jungle, nature provides quiet moments of profound beauty and peace for those who know where to look. But the wild is a changing theater, and its hospitality can vanish without warning. Moving away from the open plains, a massive congregation of elephants gathers in a shrinking, green waterway. The water is thick with green algae, a clear sign of stagnation and summer's heavy toll. Dozens of herds, including tiny calves, navigate the thick mud together. When resources dry up, the bonds of the elephant family are tested to their limits. They must rely on their collective memory to find cleaner streams, pushing forward through the muck with stubborn determination. Where the water completely disappears, a different kind of masterpiece is revealed. Against the backdrop of massive, reddish-brown mountain walls, a herd of resilient desert antelopes marches across the barren sand. Their long, straight horns point toward the bright sky as they run effortlessly across the cracked, dusty ground. These are the true survivors of the extreme, built to endure months without a drop of direct rain. They extract life from the sparsest vegetation and the morning dew. In this vast emptiness, their movement looks like a synchronized dance of survival against the harshest elements. From the high sky, the true scale of the wilderness becomes dizzying. Below us, thousands of African buffaloes form a dark, moving sea across the golden plains and marshy edges. As the camera pans over this endless herd, the sheer power of numbers becomes undeniable. They move as one single, unstoppable organism, kickstarting dust and reshaping the landscape with their hoofs. In this corner of the world, safety is found in density. No single predator, no matter how hungry, dare challenge the front line of 1,000 heavy horns moving in perfect unison. As our journey nears its close, we are left with the quiet icons of this timeless land. A solitary elephant walks through a field of dry, leafless trees, a giant moving through a skeletal forest. And further away, a majestic giraffe stands tall against the horizon, its long neck reaching for the sky, watching over the golden grasslands. This is the eternal kingdom. It is a world of fierce battles and quiet peace, of drying mud and life-giving rivers. Through every season, the pulse of the wild continues to beat, raw, unbroken, and beautifully free under the endless African sky.